Peter, thank you very much. Folks, I'm going to try to make up a little bit of time, but it's difficult to make up what we've lost so far. It's a pity. I think that so many people left, not because of me. As you would see in my story, in my short CV, I love fishing. And as the Deputy Minister was speaking just now, I can't help relating to, and I mean, you all know the story. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach him how to fish and for life. I think what we need to do more is teach people how to fish. Does that make sense? I know there's also a very good African saying, it takes a community to develop a child or to grow up a child. I think we need to redefine that, and we need to also appreciate well done is always better than well said. I think I don't want to say we talk too much, but yeah, we don't do enough about this whole thing of developing skills. But yeah, I think let's go out there and train people, teach people how to teach other people how to fish. And I think that can become something quite significant. Folks, I'm going to share a couple of ideas with you about the how of making training and development stick. We all underestimate how difficult it is to change a behavior. I think we underestimate. There are 3 profound stories, and this is one of them. What's the speed limit in South Africa? On average, open road? 120. Now, I'm not going to embarrass everyone or anyone by asking, put up your hand, who got a fine in the last 12 months? That's how easy or difficult it is to change behavior. Why? Folks, you know what the speed limit is. In fact, they say to you every 20 kilometers, 120, 120, 120. You all passed your licenses, I hope. But yet, many of us, I'll put up my hand as well, exceed the speed limit. That's how easy or how difficult it is to change a behavior. I believe one of the reasons for that is we don't engage the full person when we want to change behaviors. We don't think about the consequences. All we say is the speed limit is 120, not why. We don't understand the why because we don't want to understand the why. Who of you have experienced any failed training intervention? Hands up. Thank you. Thank you for some honesty. Those of you that's not lifted your hands yet, I know you're busy writing. Folks, why does training fail? Why does training interventions fail? An enormous amount of effort is going into what we need to do, but I think the how of how we're doing it very often does not get considered. Robert Brinkenoff, professor in America, folks, according to his research, 90% of training interventions fail. Now, I appreciate Americans always bigger, faster, more. If we are very conservative and we take it down to around about 50, just 50% of training interventions fail. I think for a lot of people in human resources development, there's a huge question mark. Can you consider what's the impact of that on ROI, on ROE, plus all the other good things? I had the privilege of visiting Nestle. Anyone from Nestle? Yeah? From Nestle, they've got a training school right on Lake Geneva in Montreux, in Switzerland. Lovely setting. And I had the privilege of spending a couple of hours with the CEO of the Learning Academy. And one of the things that we went to them for, saying, best practice, guys, well, how do you measure return on investment? And he said, what do you mean return on investment? We sell chocolates to make money. Can I repeat that? We sell chocolates to make money. We don't expect a return on investment. That's our commitment for our people. And excuse the pun, I thought that was quite sweet. Okay, we commit to developing people. I think too often, Jack Phillips's return on investment, and got nothing against Jack, but I think we put too much emphasis on measuring, as opposed to doing the thing right in the first place. So why does training fail? Very often, activity gets confused with an improvement. It's an event, it's not a transaction. The focus is on repairing individual weakness. I've got a guy working for me and he's a problem person, let's send him for training. Qualifications versus competence, management support, I'm not going to say much about that, but I just want you to ask the question, why do they not support you? Why does management not support training? Are you a real business partner? Or can they do better with that individual somewhere else. And if they can, they're always going to do that. Folks, please don't take notes. This is boring. It will be made available at the end as well. Learners are unaware of the why. And we'll talk about that. It's become a motivational lecture. Hooray, 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 Monday back to work. Continue on that. HR people at large are not kept responsible for an improvement. You're kept responsible for the event. There's a start, there's an end. We do the happy smiley faces and say, great guys, this was good. Another 100 people through. A sausage machine thing. Management view training as a cost, not an investment or a commitment for developing people. Strategy and training, and the methods of how. Is the traditional lecture room still the best way of growing skills? Further to Brinkerhoff's model, folks, in his research, what he found was the training intervention itself only accounts for about 20% of the success of an intervention. Only 20%. How much effort do we put up front? It's 40% of the success of the training intervention. Is the upfront discussion, communication, conversations that you've got with the individual. 20% then the intervention, yes. And the other 40%, folks, is once that individual is back in the work, how do we make sure that it says 120, 120, 120, and they stay within the speed limit? Very important as well is HR responsibility with line management support, and obviously the other two, line management, but with HR support. When last did you have a good conversation with the line manager? NetSpeed Learning Solutions, 94% of learners who experience improved performance were encouraged by their managers. Mentoring, coaching. So looking at the first block for the P training, a couple of things that one can do. Folks, for me, summarize it by saying, please have a good conversation with the individual that needs to go on the training and with his manager, her manager. What do you want this person to be able to do at the end? Try to get it as concrete as possible, as opposed to say, you know what, this guy's feeling quiet. Let's send him on an assertiveness training. Folks, he's an introvert. The training is going to do nothing. Are you with me? So when you get a training need for someone, just interrogate it. That's your role, that's your responsibility. You are a human resources individual. We're not talking about machines. The training intervention itself, I'm glad there are so many people involved in human resources development at this summit. You know, what are we doing to upskill ourselves, to make sure that we are current? Think lightweight design. Try to make it as easy as possible. And the last one, folks, very important for me, make sure people have fun. I want you just to memorize that. Please don't write it down, just memorize it. Got it? No, don't take photos either. Okay. On a piece of paper, just write down 1 to 9. There's a prize at the Makofle store for the person who gets 5 right. Guys, are you ready? What I want you now to do is to memorize that versus that. So what am I saying to human resources practitioners, ODE, TDP practitioners? Folks, let's try to make it as easy as possible for someone to be successful. You can make it extremely complicated. You really can make it heavy for your own ego, as opposed to make it as easy as possible. Folks, if I'm to ask you that, I'm sure everyone will go past my Makofle and collect a gift. Okay. So let's just rethink how we convey the message and ask how and how and how as many times as what you like. And if you think you're fed up, please ask. The same with coaching and mentoring. I would appeal to everyone here. Those of you that are not coaches and mentors to someone as yet, find someone to assist and to take further. Jack Welch, organization's ability to learn, ultimate competitive advantage. Folks, any organization that you represent, if you guys go home tonight, it's an empty building. So the competitiveness is in your people. David Starker, 4H process, important to engage the head. But I think too often in the past we've only focused on the head. You know you understand. You know you understand. It's time maybe that we engage more and more of the heart and ask someone, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? Because that's where the passion will come from. Thirdly, engage the hands. I believe if the head's engaged, the heart is engaged, the hands will start doing something. Hopefully with the end result in creating a habit. Folks, that's when real change takes place. Change does not take place at the end of a training program and say so many people pass the program. There's a difference between competence and qualifications. A lot of people are qualified, but they are not competent, and vice versa. And then do you apply the skills that you know? And how do you make sure that people get challenged to use those skills? The 4-H process, head, heart, hands, form a habit. I'm not going to say much more about that. It's fairly easy to work out. All I'm saying is, don't think we've put enough emphasis on that. We think if we've got that right, the hands will form the habit. It does not happen if it doesn't come from the heart. A lot has been said about talent management, etc., etc. Folks, if you don't have talented managers to manage talent, please don't go on a talent management policy, procedure, embark on anything that you believe you're going to attract talent. You're going to create your own turnover. If you don't have talented managers, please don't recruit talent. They're going to leave you. They're going to embarrass you. So start with talented managers, and they will draw, and they will develop people who are talented. Just getting back to Nestlé, the reason why they believe in the commitment for people, also, by the way, most of the people who become the CEO for Nestlé spend 2 years at the training institution. Why? They said, what's the role of a CEO other than developing people? So let's give them good opportunity to do that. We spoke about that yesterday, about work-life balance as well a little bit, work-me balance. People that are young nowadays, want to grow and they want to learn new things. Are you the kind of person that can grow people and that can teach people new things? If not, please don't get involved with that, because you're going to become a hurdle in the developing of people. Social media at work, this is from Harvard and Deloitte's last year or this year. What they also want is, from the company, skills development. Youngsters want skills development, but think about creative ways of getting them engaged. Allow me to end with a little story. I'm blessed in good African style with 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls. When my eldest son went to, grade North, grade R, whatever, at that stage he was extremely clever at the speed at which he would build a puzzle. I would have challenged any one of you. I'm serious, I'll put $1,000 on the table. He would beat you at the speed to build a puzzle. And what was amazing, he'll take the cover, put it down, and take a piece of puzzle and put it exactly where it's supposed to be. I enjoyed it. I mean, I could watch him building puzzles. And he went to grade North, and 2 of the activities in school is you play with clay, and the other one is building puzzles. And he came home one afternoon. You guys know what a boy that age looked like coming from school. And I said, hey, my son, what have they done? He said, I'm not a happy chap. I said, why not? He said, the teacher said, the way that I built my puzzle is wrong. I thought, wow, that's very interesting. And I asked him why. And the teacher said, how do you build your puzzle? Let me ask you, how do you build a puzzle? Anyone? You start from the sides. Why? You start with the corners. Can I ask you the question, why?
Because it gives you a framework to work in.
Is it that the reason, or have you been told that's how you build a puzzle? That's my question. I mean, obviously, it was a bit of a downer, and all I thought was, who the hell am I, Jan Hollenbach, to tell you how to build your puzzle? Who are you as a training facilitator to teach learners how to build their puzzles? I think the best we can do, the best we have to do, is to just show them the cover and let them build their own puzzles. We must be careful to grow too much into compliance with what everyone is saying, what everyone is doing. I believe for next year, we need to do half the training at half the price, but double the impact. We need to start moving forward, folks. We can't keep on talking and talking and talking. We're not getting to the real things, to the real skills. I want to close off and just saying thank you for the opportunity. If you go out, be careful. Be careful how to tell someone to build a puzzle. They might have a better way. Just listen and ask why. Folks, thank you very much.